Growing up as a child, I was incredibly shy and struggled with a lisp. I spent many years hiding behind my mother's leg. I started dancing when I was 3, and it became my heart, my passion, truly what brought me joy. The best part of dance is I didn't have to speak. I was pulled out of class regularly to go to speech therapy to correct the lisp. A vivid memory stands out in 2nd grade. My teacher said, "Please stand by your desk, Ivy, and read the next page out loud from the book we're reading." I stood up and was mortified when no words could come out. My parents were called into school, and I was labeled as having a reading problem. Speech therapy during the day, reading tutors after school. All I wanted to do was go to dance class. That moment defined how I viewed myself for so many years moving forward. I defined myself as stupid. I'm just not smart. Dancing became the place that I can build the self-confidence, the resilience to move through life. I had great teachers. They pushed me, and I pushed myself. Leap a little higher, Ivy. Plie a little lower. Remember those arms, no sagging elbows. Then there were the auditions, and auditions, and auditions. There were many, many no's, and a few wonderful yeses. I always learned you just get back up and keep on going no matter what. When it came time to go to college, my parents were great. They said, "We'll support you going to college financially, providing I get a degree in something that can pay the bills." So I got 2 degrees, one in dance, of course, and a degree in communications. The interesting thing, I accomplished a 5-year program with performing in 4 years. Yet I still saw myself as intellectually stupid. At age 23, I blew out my knee. After surgery, the doctor said, "You will never dance again." And I thought about it. My parents' method and message of getting a degree in something that could eventually pay the bills and lead to financial security just might not have been a bad idea. I stepped forward into the business world. I got my first job as a receptionist at a production company using that communications degree. This shy young woman being the first point of contact when you answered the phone? And then think about it. Those poor reading skills resulted in terrible spelling. So I would say, "Hi, can you spell your name, please?" I'm sorry, excuse me, can you spell it again? No surprise, I didn't last the year before I was fired. The turning point came when the production manager, Tony, pulled me aside before I left. And he said, "Ivy, you have potential. You have resilience. I see something in you. My wife has a client looking for an executive assistant. Go interview for that job." So I did. And I got to the job working for Lucille Roberts, the founder of the women-only health club chain based in the tri-state area. Lucille did not think twice, handed me a stack of files and said, "Figure out how to do a sales training for all the managers." Okay. The following week, "Here's a stack of files, figure out and prepare us for the meeting with the advertising agency." I was on a crash course, gaining business skills, like a mini MBA program all to myself. My next career piece, I worked for a corporate events company for 2 sisters. I worked for the sister who is a CPA. Continued that little MBA program. I learned operations, finance, and I started selling myself. I learned that by being curious, being more interested than interesting, led me on a great path. And I had a gift, a skill set. Well, I moved into the printing industry as a salesperson. And I started creating a book of business that built me to the ability to become a partner in the company. I stepped into the leadership role and led it through mergers and acquisitions, creating a multiple seven-figure business. Who knew? From receptionist to business owner. I got the entrepreneurship bug and started my own company. 20 years, 2 decades in the printing industry. And at 45, I had what was commonly known as a midlife crisis. I fell apart. I realized I couldn't keep doing something that didn't fulfill me, something that I didn't have the passion for. The passion that I had for dance, the fulfillment that I had in those early years. It was time for a change, and the time was now. I opened my company, Slater Success, a coaching and consulting company. I figured, I got this. I can do business, no problem. Interesting, those early self-doubts from childhood resurfaced with a vengeance. In the amazing areas of marketing and sales, what I knew so well, I stumbled. It's now 2008, pretty bad economic times. We fell into a financial downward spiral in our family. We moved 3 times in 2 years with 2 children. I remember one night before the kids went to bed, I looked at my husband and I said, I can go back and sell printing. I got this. I can make money. And he looked me in the eye and he said, do you believe you can build Slater Success? And I looked at him and I saw the confidence he had in me. And I dug down deep and moved aside the self-doubt. And I said, I know I can. I'll never forget what he said to me next. He said, Ivy, we're healthy. The kids are healthy. It's only money. We built it once. We'll do it again. I jumped back in a conversation that was a sales conversation that happened shortly after that. I spoke to a founder of a law firm, a woman who was looking to scale her organization. We got on the phone and I asked her my usual questions about her vision, her goals, her dreams. Then she turned the tables on me. And she said, let me ask you a little something. Tell me about your background. Were you an attorney? Did you scale a law firm? I said, well, I scaled a printing company. She goes, well, tell me about your education. Where'd you go to school? I graduated summa cum laude, she goes on to say. Well, I got a degree in dance. And I have a degree in communications I was so proud of. I said, the important thing about scaling a company is about being a leader and a smart decision maker. Let's schedule a call for next week, and no matter what, I want you to come to that call with a decision. Well, she came back on that call a week later, and she said, Ivy, I'm ready to hire you. Phew! I was thrilled. I was a little surprised, I have to say. I asked my next question, what brought you to the decision? And she went on to say, you know, you had me when you told me you were a dancer. Shocked I was. Very coachy question. Tell me more about that. She went on to say she remembered the dancers when she was young. She took some classes. The girls who were really serious, if they were sick, they showed up with a sweater or a scarf. If their feet were bleeding, they just wrapped another layer of moleskin around those toes and kept on dancing. That's the type of woman I want with me to build and scale this company. Somebody with grit, determination, and resilience. We got right on started. The things I've learned over the years is that no matter what is thrown at you, and life throws us a few things, some curveballs in our journey, it's how we show up and face them. It's the resilience we have, the endurance we have, the dedication we have. Life might present us a few obstacles in this journey. It also presents us with presents and gifts. I encourage you to be present to the presents life gives to you. Thank you.